Hello everybody, my name is Shelly. Welcome back to my channel. I'm so glad you guys are here. Today I'm in a little bit of a rush. I've got like a gazillion things to do. So I thought I would, take the time to actually film and do my makeup as I'm getting ready to go about my day. Now, I'm working from home today, but I do have some video calls that I may turn on my camera. It just depends on how the call goes. So I'm gonna do just a little bit of makeup without being too over the top, but I've got some kind of fun products that I'm excited to try. So this is gonna be a multi-part video. Spoiler. I'm gonna come back and do looks later on, maybe throughout the day, with some products that you probably read about in the subject line. So I'm gonna start with the Jones Road What the Foundation. I just grab it off of the cap. It feels like it always kind of separates a little bit. So I grab a little bit off the cap, I smush it into the back of my hand. And this is honestly more like a tinted moisturizer than anything else. So I'm just gonna put it on half of my face so you can kind of see. I just wanna make sure I'm covering my skin. Okay, we've got one half, we've got it on, one half where we've got it on, and one half where we don't. And honestly, it's so subtle of a difference that it does have that kind of no makeup look, which that whole clean beauty right now, not clean beauty, like clean makeup thing, trend is so popular right now. And for me, it's kind of hard because, if I'm going into a meeting, going into work, I want to look really polished. And if I'm going out, I'm going to do a little bit more fun for date night. But I also I do feel like when I am working from home or I am traveling, I do want to look pulled together without being overly done. So while part of the concept of this whole, clean, no makeup appeals to me, I'm a lady of a certain age, and that's a hard challenge. You guys may be like that. I don't know. I'm gonna grab it just a little bit more. I'm gonna just tap it under the eyes a little bit. I find that this Jones Road foundation, it's really like a tinted moisturizer or a serum foundation. It feels like skincare, but with a little bit of normalizing. I don't know how to describe it. It's like your skin but better. My skin feels dewy and fresh with a little bit of just sort of blurring effect. I guess there's a lot of products that claim to have a blurring effect. This one I actually feel like kind of does it, but it doesn't make it so perfect that you don't feel like yourself. Okay, you guys, I have purchased a number of these stack things. I think this was the first one I got, this one from Morphe 2. I was mesmerized by these little subtle beauty stackers. I also picked up a few from Kaja. We've got some like bento beauty things from Kaja. I picked up one from Alley Oop. Actually used this yesterday. A couple of the things from Kaja. I threw some little things in this bag because I was going to do a look, and then I was like, oh no, I've got other things that I want to add in here too. So, okay, I'm going to keep those off to the side. All right, here's the thing about the little bento things. Like this. They make it look like, oh, this is just super easy to travel with. But is it really a full face of makeup? So I picked up one of these. I want to kind of talk to you about the pros and cons of each of them, but I think I'm going to wait a little bit on a couple of them here. The only thing that I've found with some of these, like if you're going to do like one of the Morphe 2 things, I feel like you need a concealer. For me personally, I also need a lip liner, maybe an eyeliner, a little mini mascara. Those are the kind of things that I would maybe throw into it, just as an FYI. We're gonna start with the subtle beauty one though. I kind of cheated because I threw in like an extra stack or two in this. And I have it not by color coordination, but actually kind of how I use it. So the first thing in here is a concealer. I feel like this concealer is just a little tiny bit too light for me, which is the reason why I went in with that Jones Road What the Foundation first. Okay, it's actually, if I use just the tiniest bit, it's not too bad. So I got kind of sucked into, what else do I need? I put a little bit down here. I kind of got sucked into one of those, those little short videos, those reels that they do where everybody's just like, oh, I'm just gonna do this and this and this, and it's gonna be perfect. I also picked up a subtle beauty brush kit, and of course I've added in an eyeliner and a mascara into the little brush kit that I didn't need to put in here. But just to see if I could get a little kit on the go. This one actually has just a few brushes. There's a couple dual-ended eyeshadow brushes, actually a dual-ended eyeshadow brush, another brush, and then two other little mini travel size brushes. When I purchased it, I think there was a gift purchased or something, so I got one of these little powder brushes as well. So between all of these, I've got a pretty goodly amount of brushes with this little stack. I'm gonna try to do like sort of what they do in their little video. Guys, I gotta go. I got things to do here. So, you know, when they do the video, they tap a little bit on where they need it, and then they just kind of, you know, sort of go all over with everything. But I already put that Jones route on. So I don't feel like I need a whole lot more. I feel like I'm actually in pretty good shape. I did learn that you're not supposed to tighten these too tight, just in case that was a curiosity for you. So I'm gonna take, this is like their multi-stick in here. I'm just gonna use the same flat brush here. So I'm gonna tap a little, actually, you know what? I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna warm up a little bit with my fingers and then just sort of work it into the skin. It's one of those where if I wanna do something quickly, okay, this kind of makes sense. On my last trip where I was somewhere a little bit more casual, not necessarily a work trip, I did play around with a little bit of the concept of, you know, the all-in-one product. You know, the blush that's also the eyeshadow, that's also the lip color. And I found a product I really like. So as I'm coming off of that, I'm very curious how these are gonna feel next to that, if you know what I mean. Okay, so I tapped on the color. I like that. I'm just gonna take the brush and just sort of stipple around it to make it kind of blend in a little bit more. My face feels very glowy, doesn't it? I mean, you don't know how it feels, but it looks very glowy. Now I'm gonna go down to the next one, which is gonna be a bronzer. I'm gonna grab the other little brush in the kit, and I'm just gonna kind of bronze around. It's that whole bronzing type thing, but gosh, you guys, I never used to use bronzer. I mean, I did, I was always a abuser of blush, but the whole concept of kind of sun-kissed glow all over your face just didn't really strike me as something necessary. Now, of course, it's the middle of summer and I'm like, oh, but the bronzing is good. I'll tell you also, as I'm sitting here babbling, my favorite type of bronzer is one that's not too glowy and too orange or too gold. It has to be just kind of a neutral. See, that I just killed it. I just went so muddy and dirty with that. What was I doing? Okay, I'm gonna take this brush here and let's see if we can't tone that down and trim it up a little bit. Yikes. I'm thrilled with the little stack though. I think they make it easy for you too. They kind of offer some pairings or some color combinations that they think might work for you. Okay, I did pick up, this is the eyeshadow I picked up because I felt like this is a little bit more of what I would do on a normal regular basis, just for a super quick, like maybe travel type eyeshadow. So I'm gonna take the shimmer and start with kind of the inside and keep it close to my lash line in the, I don't know, we'll call it half. I'm gonna blend the darker color over a little bit, but little light brightness. Certainly don't have to use your fingers. You can use a brush if it grosses you out in some way. Or, as you can see, you can use fingers instead of a brush if you're keeping this in a travel carry-on or keeping in your purse, which kind of makes sense. I think that's kind of the concept behind it. That's what I would do anyway. Okay, I'm gonna grab the fluffy side of the little travel brush. I'm gonna pick up a little bit here. I'm gonna start at my lash line and blend into the shimmer and then kind of distribute it up into the shape I want and then over into the crease. Now, if you guys are not new to my channel, you know I normally do kind of a smoky eye anyway. So this color combination might be too dark for some people. But when I have close set hooded eyes, I tend to do something a little bit more smokier anyway, just in general. I mean, I think it's just kind of like a go-to for me. I don't want to say that I'm stuck in a rut, but maybe I'm stuck in a rut. No, it's not stuck in a rut. If you know that something works for you, why force in something else? It's good to try other things, and I do. Like, I try a halo look every so often, and it just makes me look cross-eyed. And I don't need to, I already have close set, don't need cross-eyed. All right, I feel like that's a little dark and heavy, so I'm gonna grab, actually I'm just gonna flip the brush over and we'll just use the cleaner side and see if we can't soften it just a little bit. And these shadows seem to be blending all right. As you probably saw, I didn't use any even resembling an eye base, but I think you could use the concealer if that's kind of like your normal regular sort of go-to. Mainly this is just an exercise in, can we get a full face? Is it portable? Does it work for us? If we're not young and perfect. Okay, this does also have a translucent powder, so I'm gonna grab the fluffier brush from this. I'll go all over, down some of the shininess, looks like it. I still feel like I have just barely anything on. Like my skin doesn't look perfect by any stretch of the imagination. It almost feels just a little, I mean, it's very casual. It's, I wouldn't call it polished. I threw in this little travel thing here. A lip liner. I just happen to have a KKW one right here, so that's going to be the one that I'm going to use. I think it with the stack. And honestly, I didn't see a Subtle Beauty liner. I think I was just so focused on the stack that I didn't let much. This one is, hold on, let me see if I can tell you what KKW shade this is. Just because, Mob 2, just in case you were at all all curious. Now I'm gonna go back into the stack with the multi-stick product. My lip, I'm always a fan of a monochromatic look. Makes it pretty easy. I almost feel like I could drag the excess back up here on my cheekbones. Yeah, that's okay. Sorry, a mascara. Now, sometimes, depending on what I've got going on, I might leave well enough alone. Sometimes not having eyeliner makes me look like I'm tired. Let me grab a little, let me throw some mascara on and I'll be right back. All right, you guys, just a little clear brow gel. Keep those bad boys a little bit in place, even though I didn't darken them up. I didn't put any additional product in. Okay, so this is sort of, I'm gonna call this look number 1 with the Subtle Beauty Stack. I did throw in a brow gel, a lip liner, and a mascara. So I've got these as kind of look number 1, and that's pretty much everything. Wait, hold on. I did use the Jones Road instead, but that's just because I was concerned that the concealer that came in here was a little too light. I don't think it actually was. And it didn't really seem to give me a ton of coverage either. In fact, I'm gonna put a little bit more of it on right here. The gal that, you know, does the little reels that you see putting this on her face, she already has really good skin. And I don't have any current breakouts or anything like that that I'm concerned about covering up. But I'm also not super young either, so I'm not young at all. I guess that's relative, isn't it? I'm sure there's a 80-year-old out there saying, you whippersnapper. Maybe not. All right. That's it for look number 1. I'm going to go get on my first meetings, and then I'm going to come back in a little while and maybe we'll play with some of the other stacks and just see, maybe by the end of the day I'll have a good recommendation on which one I think is the best one and the one that you guys should consider. So, all right, you guys, I will be back in just a few minutes. Bye. Okay, I'm back. I have a pencil in here because I was working. Do you ever do that? Like, do you know anything with your hair and it's just like this massive weighted mess, and then you have to like twist it up, stick a pencil, something in it. Anyway, hi you guys, I'm back. So earlier today I put on this stack from Subtle Beauty, and then I had to go somewhere, and then I ended up touching it up with something else, and so it's been on my face now for hours. I don't know that it held up. It held up okay. The eyeshadow's still there. Let's take it off and let's try a different stack. Okay, we are back, fresh-faced. I'm gonna throw a little moisturizing spray on my face because I just wiped off all the skincare, and that makes my face a little dry. Now, you're probably gonna say, Shel, why are you doing 3 different sprays on your face and then drenching your skin? I have found that these little Revolution skincare sprays are fantastic. Now, my skin's wet, right? Hence the very fancy fan. And I did just go to my Walgreens, and they said, oh yeah, we're gonna be, I asked them, the makeup gal, I said, what's new? And she goes, oh, well, we got these things over there. And I'm like, oh, okay. And then she says, but we're gonna be doing a whole Makeup Revolution section on the wall. And I'm like, as opposed to the end cap? And she goes, yeah. Because they've had like, I don't know, a dozen items maybe. And I said, are you gonna get any skincare? And she goes, no, probably not originally to start with. She goes, but Makeup Revolution is doing really well here. Who knew? Okay, and those sprays, probably the best little sprays I've ever used as far as a skin prep goes. I love these. One of these is hyaluronic acid, or one, it says hyaluronic. One of them says rose hip, and one of them says superfruit. I love them all. I just do a squirt, dry it down, ready to go. So we're gonna go back into the Jones Road because I want a similar consistency, I guess, or a similar application for all of these stacks. I think that'll give us the best way to compare them. And frankly, I'm not going to be able to do a wear test on these other 2 or 3 looks that I'm going to do here. 3? Do I have 3 more? Am I doing 4 looks today? I got through all my calls. Had to run my husband back to work because he left his truck there. And when I was out, I swung by Walgreens because my last trip, they confiscated my contact lens solution, which there's like that much left in a bottle. That didn't be a problem, but apparently it was. So I had to go get contact lens solution and cleaner, which is good because I can't remember the last time I took my contacts out of my eyeballs. Hopefully my ophthalmologist isn't watching this video. He would be, right? Why would he be? It'd be weird. It'd be super weird. You just never know. You never know who watches your stuff. Okay, so now I've got the skin, I call it skincare, but it's really this What the Foundation. What shade did I get mine in? I have mine in, I think it's medium. What the Foundation Moisture Tint in medium. There you go. I feel like this would be an okay shade actually all year round because it's so subtle. And I don't really have any major areas that I need to cover up, but I always get a little dark around here where my glasses and stuff are. I have a little extra sun on my nose. Probably should have done something about that. All right, let's just damp. I'm gonna blend this in here. I didn't do a concealer earlier today. I just took that Jones Road all the way up under my eyes. This is the e.l.f. Hydrating Camo concealer. I just realized I hadn't really been using it. It's sitting there, the hydrating one, so throw a little bit of that on. All right, which stack are we doing? Let's do the Morphe one. Let's do this Morphe 2 one. I kept the box even though I've already ripped the box, just because I want to show you. I actually picked this one up at Ulta. They had several different shades, but I'm seeing like a bronzy, shimmery eyeshadow, a kind of neutral pink rosewood toned blush, a cream product, looks like a lip gloss. And then this is the only reason why I haven't really been using this. This last whole thing is completely wasted on glitter. And it's like a chunky particle glitter. I don't know if you guys can see that. It's just, it's too much. And now I have it on my hand and I'm gonna get it everywhere. Because that's what happens when I touch glitter and it's all over. I should not do that. I did that just for you guys. All right, it does have little instructions on the bottom of the container. Let's see what this says. This one, stay golden, sunbeams for eyes, rich rose for cheeks, caramel lips, and sparkles for your face. I don't know what kind of job you have, but I am not putting sparkles on my face. But let's try this out here. We're gonna do it in order, and I'm just gonna grab a little of this on my finger. We're actually gonna apply with fingers, I think. So that's pretty much how I would do it. So this only gives you one eyeshadow, and of course it's called Stay Golden, so I'm assuming it's going to be very golden and bronzed, but that's the eyeshadow. It's out of all of the Morphe palettes that I've used over the years, out of all of the Morphe products that I've used over the years, this is not my favorite. Let me scoot you in. It's a little bit better, I hope. Sometimes when I mess with the levels, my camera likes to adjust the lighting automatically. I mean, it always does, but likes to adjust it in a way that still seems awfully dark to me. For a long time, I didn't realize I could adjust the light levels, and I kind of just set it in the center. I'm leaving it alone, so apologies for not being super technical. So the funny thing about me not being super technical is I used to be an IT director. This is just one of those things where I've not taken the time to get in and really research how to set some of this equipment correctly. Crazy. All right, that's the eyeshadow. I'm not in love with it. I gotta be honest, I'm not in love with this. I'm trying to figure out how to make it more appealing to me, and I'm just not seeing it. So I'm gonna actually grab a brush. We're just gonna try to apply this with a brush and see if this makes any difference at all. I think part of it is, I don't think I would choose this shade, maybe? I don't know. It's just it's very sparkly, and it's just not, it's not what I thought it would be. I thought it would be a little bit more, wearable. I'm struggling with this shade. This is not a shade I would just leave alone as, and look, it's on my finger, that's crazy. That I would just leave it alone as it is. I would have to put something else with it. Okay, so that's the eyeshadow. The next thing is the blush, and this is a powder blush. And I think I'm used to seeing these in all cream formulas. So to have a powder blush is strange. It's a pretty color. Does it go with the copper eyeshadow? Not particularly, but we're trying to get this on with her fingers. We're seeing if this is a good makeup kit. I think this was the only one that I was like, okay, I might have better success with this one than some of the other ones. I don't mind the blush. It's just it's too pink for this eyeshadow. Gotta figure out what to do about that. Okay, the next thing on here, actually I like the blush a lot. Next thing on here is the gloss. So let's put a little of this gloss on. I like that. Now, let me preface this. I like it because I like the feel of it. It's a little washed out. The mirror is blinding me. Why is that sitting there? It's a little washed out. I need liner and mascara because mascara fixes everything. This glitter, I don't use that. This should not be on here. I feel like that just ruins the whole thing. Because honestly, you have 3 products and then you throw that glitter on there and it's just like, why would you do that? Okay, you guys, I'm gonna take this is lip liner, right? I'm gonna take a little lip liner and just kind of outline over the top of where I put that gloss on. And this is where I remind you that I'm not a professional makeup artist, because am I convinced that that is a lip liner because it almost feels like it should have been an eyeliner, but it's burgundy, and I don't wear a lot of burgundy eyeliner, so I made a just a gross judgment and error. Okay, you guys, so here's the thing that I'm going to try to do to fix this. I'm going to grab a little green eyeliner. This is from House Labs. This is the original launch, not the rebranding, and we're going to try to scribble a little of this on. Actually, I think I used this last time I used this eyeshadow, and now there's gold over. I'm just going to warm up the tip a little bit and a little bit of this on. One of the questions we like to ask ourselves is, can we use some of these products and would we leave the house? So that's going to be my take on it today, because I can already tell you I don't love that eyeshadow. Not my favorite. I'm going to go a little later than I intended, but eyeliner makes a huge difference. Let's throw some mascara on. I'll be right back. Okay, throw a little mascara on. That always makes me feel a little bit more awake and attentive. Alert. I don't love that eyeshadow for a couple reasons. One, I don't think it's the perfect color for the blush. Maybe the lips it's okay with, but I don't love this. I don't love the copper eyeshadow and the pink blush. I love the blush individually. That's the best thing in this stack. I don't mind the lip gloss. I mean, the eyeshadow's fine. Once I put on liner and stuff, it's a little bit better. It's just not the right shade. I don't know. Morphe, that was a fail. And typically I have low enough standards where I like Morphe products, but not today. I'm never going to be like an affiliated channel if I just keep being brutally honest with you guys. But I wouldn't know. I would leave the house like this, but I wouldn't feel good about it. The eyeshadow just doesn't match. They should have done something different. Okay, so that's a no-go for me. At least this particular stack, we lost major points because of the glitter. We lost points because the eyeshadow doesn't really match the blush, and the lip gloss is too thick and gel-like to be used on the eyes. Maybe the blush could be used on the eyes. Let me try that actually. Since it's a powder blush, let's take off this eyeshadow. And let's just see if we can't use the blush on the eyes. I mean, that would leave us with 2 of the 4 products as being actually useful. And I think these little stacks are maybe the cheapest out of all of them. They're like $10, I believe. I feel like they had a pink one or maybe a purple one. I don't know. I thought getting one that had like neutral colors would be the way to go, but I was incorrect. Maybe there was something off about some of the other ones too. Like it had a white eyeshadow and I was like, I'm never gonna wear white eyeshadow. All right, you guys. I have my eyes cleaned off. I left the rest of it on. I'm seeing random flecks of glitter every now and then. Let me take a dry cotton round and just kind of pat off any moisture. All right, now that the eyes are cleaned off a little bit, let's go back into that stack, just into that powder blush. Let's just throw some of that on, see how that looks. And I mean, it's okay. It's not spectacular. It's too subtle to be an eyeshadow for me. I mean, it is a sheer wash of color, and I guess if you're doing a no makeup look, that's fine. But I think with my coloring and my makeup style preferences, that's just not gonna work. Even if I were to take the extra effort and put on some mascara and stuff like that, I would have to be an extreme search. Like I'm going to the hospital and then I would grab this. If you like it and you disagree with me, that's perfectly okay. Let me comment down below so I know who you are though. All right, let's take this off and let's do, we've got some Kaja. Let's try that. Give me 1 second. Okay, back, skin moisturized again. Trails of forgotten eyeshadow, mascara, eyeliner. It's not good. It's not pretty. All right, now the thing with this Jones Road thing, as I keep going into it, I feel like it's getting all over. And I just put on way more than I needed to. Okay, so that time I used significantly more product than I have, just because I felt like it was getting everywhere when I was trying to take the lid off. So I was like, oh, I'll just like grab a little bit of the lid. And what I've been doing is I've been putting it on the back of my hand and kind of mixing it a little bit to make sure it's not separated and then applying it. This time I just swiped some and rubbed my fingers together and slathered it on my face. So it still feels good. I mean, it definitely feels like tinted skincare. My face is so glowy after putting that on. It actually feels really lovely. I don't know if the reviews were all that on this product, but I'm really digging it. Like except for I feel like it's getting all over the inside of the lid and all over the outside of the jar. Okay, so I picked up 3 products from Kaja. Korean brand, I believe. I think a lot of this concept of these bento or these little stackables probably was a Korean inspired thing here. I saw that they had these products on Amazon, and so I was like, oh, well, I'm gonna grab some. So I grabbed it. I believe this is an eyeshadow stack, and then we're gonna open up this box too. I just bought 3 products, and they were kind of expensive actually. So I only bought 3. I think they had other eyeshadow stacks that I was interested in, but I was like, well, I probably ought to see how I like it first before I spend the money. So the eyeshadow stack says that it's in shade Spiked Copper. It looks like it's 3 colors, but the lids have 4, so we'll find out. And then I got a blush. This is a Sculpting Trio, and this is in, looks like it says Cloud Latte. Is that right? Yeah, Cloud Latte. So sculpting things. And then I picked up I believe this is a gloss, right? Is this a gloss? Hydrating lip shine. That sounds like a gloss. Looks like a perfectly nude color. Honey Bronze, I think is the name of the, wrong, it says I didn't take the time to put my reading glasses on. Okay, so let's try it. Let's start with the sculpting palette and just see how this goes. Okay, so we do have what looks to be a cream contour. Then we've got a shimmery highlight, and then we have a blush that's very bright and pink, but looks kind of cute. She cute. Okay, I'm just gonna grab a flat brush here. It's probably a little bit bigger than it needs to be, but I'm gonna go into this bronzer. What does it say? Blush and bronzer and a highlighter. Okay, so we're gonna take the bronzer. Let's just see. Okay, subtle wash of color, nothing too crazy. I don't mind that. It looked like it was pretty dark in the pan. I mean, it looks pretty deep, but it's going on pretty darn sheer. Yeah, I don't mind that at all. Okay, especially for a quick application. That's kind of fun. Now, the only thing that this stack is kind of weird, different than the last two, is that it's not an all-in-one, where the Subtle and the Morphe had everything in one package, one stack. This one is over several. Actually, I like that a lot. I would absolutely use that. Okay, let's go to the blush. And the blush looks like it's a powder blush. So I'm just gonna grab a brush. A little bit of pigment on the brush. Let's just see how that looks on top of that. Yeah, that's okay. Let's put some over here. All right, so color-wise, I mean, that's a very bold, punchy color. But after I put powder, probably good. All right, even though I'm not normally a highlighter person, let me just grab a highlighter brush really fast, put a little up here and see how that looks. I'm certainly not a notice me from outer space. I don't know that this is the reason, one of the reasons why I tend to shy away from highlighters is because I get the wrong shade and I just feel ridiculous. All right, now I'm all highlightery. It sounds like I've got an orange or a yellow marker on my face and I don't. Okay, eyeshadow stack. Let's see how this is. We have on this one, and I can't remember, I think I might have got an all matte stack. So we have a deep shade. We have a, nope, not all mattes. We have a shimmer, looks like a good all over the lid shade. And we have a neutral kind of mid-tone matte look. Mid-toned matte. Let's start with that one. So I'm just gonna grab a little bit of this on a brush. A lot of kick up. And see how that. I'm just gonna do what I would normally do for an eyeshadow look, just because I wanna see, is this a stack that I can use, or these, I guess there's 2 stacks. Are these stacks that I can use while I'm traveling? Okay, first shade for worker glasses would totally be appropriate. It's not a huge amount of eyeshadow shade. It's just a little wash of color. And usually when I'm working or wearing glasses, that's kind of what I'd go for. Okay, let's take the darker shade. I'm gonna use the same brush because frankly, I would not have a whole set of brushes in with me while I was traveling. This is what I would do. I would start on the outside. Boy, I realized I really do actually need to get my contacts out. They're very fuzzy right now. Okay, this shadow, super sheer blending. Actually, I don't hate it, you know, especially for travel, for work, for glasses. Yeah, these 2 shades together, they're not so pigmented that you have to blend. They're actually building up a little bit too. Don't mind this. I don't think I've actually used any Kaja eyeshadow before. And now I'm kind of thinking I probably should have because I actually really like that. Okay, let's grab my finger's clean. I'm gonna grab this shimmer here on my finger. Oh yeah, look at that. Kind of a little, it's like the Battle of the Copper eyeshadow. Yeah. That's actually nice. This stack is fantastic. Let's get some powder on the cheeks and see how that blush looks because that blush was so punchy. Love the eyeshadow. Actually, very, very pleased with the way that eyeshadow turned out. I'm not looking for products that will give me a variety of options. I'm looking for what can I do to put myself together on a plane or in my car, in my purse, something quickly. Yeah, let's grab a powder that's not too shiny. Picking up a powder that's not too additionally glowy because I feel like I've got a lot of glow going on, especially with that highlighter. All right, those are actually really pretty. Soft and subtle, again, kind of doing the no makeup, but actually really like it. Okay, little mascara on. It's feeling very fresh and clean, isn't it? Without being too overly done. That's kind of interesting. Normally I'm like, oh, I look too tired when I do that. And we're trying the lip gloss. All right, lip gloss is too sticker on it. I think it's a little pale just on its own. Let's go over the top of it. I just grabbed a any random lip liner. Let's see what this looks like if I put a little lip liner on first. And I can't actually talk while doing this, sorry. All right, the lip gloss is almost too thick to put a lip liner on over the top of it. So do that first. But as far as the eyeshadow goes, as far as the face products go, yeah, especially for a travel day or in a pinch, yeah, this is kind of fun. I need to add into this kit like a concealer or a foundation, something like this Jones Road in a smaller travel size maybe. The lip liner I think I would add onto, and a mascara. And I think that this would be completely appropriate for work from home, from travel, for running errands, the clean, fresh, minimal makeup thing. Yeah, I like that. And I definitely like the blush better after I put on some powder over the top of it. I think it kind of toned down the rum punch Kool-Aid thing that was going on. It's actually really lovely. So yay for this. This makes me super happy. I have one more stack to do, and it's called Stack the Odds by Ali Oop. So we've got one more to do. Let me take this, and I'm gonna actually, I gotta go make dinner. I'm gonna go make dinner, and then I'm gonna come back and we'll finish up here. So I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. I know it just seemed like just a second ago, but I did make dinner, ate dinner, cleaned up. So it's been hour and a half or so. And while at first I was so ridiculously excited about the eyeshadow and the makeup, I feel like I looked a little tired. And of course, eating completely removed that lip gloss. But I think this is actually probably one of my favorites of the stacks. I say stack, but it's really, two stacks. I feel like I need a little eyeliner or something, just because it looks a little sleepy. So not quite polished and perfect. Or just maybe I'm lowering my expectations. I don't know. Let me take this off and we'll come back in with our fourth set of stacks. Be right back. Okay, doing what we did before with a little of the Jones Road the foundation. This time I think I'm gonna use, I used this brush before. I think I'm gonna apply the Jones Road with the blush this time. Or, yeah, did I say that right? Apply the foundation with a brush. The first few times I've just used my fingers, and it's applied great. All right, so this is the stack that I want to use right now. This is from Ali Oop, and it's called the Stack the Odds Multi-Use Face Stacker. 3 cream shades to play. Highlight, blush, and contour. I picked this up, I think it was a BoxyCharm add-on. They had 3 or 4 of them, and I think they were $12 on BoxyCharm. I don't know what their normal regular price is. They've got to be 30 bucks maybe, I'm not really sure. So we've got a highlighter, it's not horrible. We have a cream blush, not too bad at all. And then we have a cream bronzer. So those are all 3 shades. It does have a cute little mirror. This is a different component than other ones. It's that flipped up. These ones kind of slide to the side. I'm just gonna use that same brush that I've been using. We're gonna go in with the bronzer first, or the contour. And let's just see how this works. Now, I've used this particular stack one other time. Yesterday, it was one of those crazy days where I got up early, but it just threw on like workout clothes and then sat down on my computer and started working. And it was about 5 o'clock when I finally realized I had never showered, and nor had I ever put on any makeup or anything of the sort. So I went ahead and showered, and because it was so late in the evening, I threw a little of this on just because, my husband was coming home from work, and I don't know, I just wanted to look a little bit put together, not like I'd been sitting around in my pajamas all day, which I hadn't really. I mean, it wasn't what I slept in. So I used this yesterday for the first time. And I was like, oh, okay, I need to get that video done. I'm gonna grab a little bit of the blush on a couple fingers. And we're just gonna kind of work it onto the skin a little bit, right over the top of that contour. Now, I probably could have just saved and used the same brush that I used, but I wanted to apply it with my fingers, so that's what we're doing. It's a pretty shade, actually. Kind of a corally, it's not really an orange, apricot-y color, I guess, maybe. And I don't know if it's between the spray skincare products or that Jones Road, but my skin is still looking very dewy. That's a lovely color. It's actually a nice subtle wash of color. Let's put a little of this on the eyes. and see how that looks. And if you guys are not new to my channel, then you'll know I don't really care for pastels all that much, but sometimes you just need a hint of a color, especially if I'm doing glasses or kind of the theme for all the products that I've tried today. Super quick out the door, no fuss. It feels good on the eyelids. It's not too firm or stiff, which would make it kind of pull on the lid. This actually is really, really nice emollient feeling product. Be curious to see if it creases at all. Looks okay. All right, let's throw a little on those lips. Maybe not the perfect shade for a lip for me. I think if I were to throw a little lip liner or maybe even a little gloss, it'd probably be all right. Okay, last thing in here is the highlighter. I'm gonna take a little of that actually. Make sure my finger's clean. I'm gonna take a little of this and we'll just kind of plop it right in the center of the eye and drag it up just a little bit because I like to bring a little lightness right to this inner portion because I think it kind of lifts my eye a little bit, but also then it offers the contrast of the darker shade on the outer side, which theoretically makes my eyes look not so close together and not so cross-eyed. Okay, since it is a highlighter, let's throw a little bit of it up here. This is actually a good highlighter for me because it's so subtle. It's not an annoying highlighter. In fact, you know what? I'm going to throw a little bit up here, which I never do. Well, can't say never. I hardly ever do a highlighter on right underneath my brow because sometimes I can feel like certain ladies of a certain age that can look a little dated. Okay, so while this does have that fresh, clean, you know, no makeup look, this isn't probably something I would wear just out of the house because I do feel a little sleepy. However, if I were to take an eyeliner, even just a liquid one, let's see if this one still works. Just for giggles. This is one of those Doja Cat ones. A little bit of liner on. Throw some mascara on. Okay, mascara's on. That always helps things look a little bit more awake. I'm feeling okay-ish. I don't love just a light shade on my eyes. I know I've said that before, that I really wanted to kind of explore that a little bit more and see if I can get away with it. I just don't know that it's gotten to be perfect for me yet. You know, I'm still awfully dewy and glistening, and that's not always a horrible bad thing. I'm just gonna throw a little bit of powder on just some of the, like where the texture is. Because, you know, shiny on texture is just not attractive. All right, that's it for my experiment with these stacks. Let me rank these for you. I've done looks now with 4 different stacks. And I think I have a clear winner of which ones I like the best. So I'm gonna put down in 4th place, shouldn't be any surprise, the Morphe one. I didn't love the eyeshadow, and the glitter was a complete waste of a component. The blush was pretty. I don't know if I can find a way to dismantle this or what to do to make this usable or keepable for me. But the blush and the lip gloss were the 2 things out of here that I actually enjoyed, and there's 4 components in the stack. So this is in 4th place. I don't know, I'd have to look at the other stacks to see if the color story's different, but I thought that the eyeshadow was too copper, the blush was too pink, and the glitter was a waste, and why bother? Number 3. I might say this is my number 3, so this is the Alley Oop. This is the Sun-Kissed Stack the Gods set. And I think, honestly, for 3 products, I did get a cohesive look. This is a good, you know, really short, quick errand, late for work, beach look. I would do this for the beach. My skin feels moist and hydrated. That's the Jones Road, not necessarily the products. But because they're all cream products, they went on very well. Very easy. There was no tugging. There was no skipping. I thought that the products on the cheeks and eyes applied well. I thought they were attractive. You know what? Hold on. I forgot that there was this bronzer in here. Let me grab this. If I put a little of the bronzer on here, that might save that eye look for me too. Is that all I needed? Maybe this needs to be higher than 3 on the list. Well, I don't know how long it's going to stay on my skin though. I don't know if having, you know, normally dry skin or being out and about, a hair whipping around, I don't know what would happen to the makeup on the skin. I need to find that out because that might change how I feel about this. But my skin does feel, I mean, it feels okay. It's pretty. It's just not how I normally like to wear my makeup. The Eyeshadow Stacks and the Subtle Beauty. Boy, this is a tough one. So with the Subtle Beauty stacks, you have a little bit more control. You can pick which components you want. You pick your shade of concealer, your bronzer, your powder. I did throw in an eyeshadow and do I have a lip? Powder, eyeshadow, bronzer, lip and cheek, and then concealer are all in this little stack. This is a great little stack, especially when you throw in the brushes, mascara, a lip liner, and maybe an eyeliner in with this. Perfectly appropriate. But I think the one that looks best on my skin was probably these ones from Kaja. At least initially, I felt like maybe I was just used to seeing myself at that point in time with little or no makeup, the very minimalist kind of makeup, and so it appealed to me more. But the thing that I think I would take away from this, that I liked this a little bit better, is this is 2 components. 2 components for 6 products, and this is 1 component for 6 products. 1 or 2. For the convenience, I'm going to give it to Subtle Beauty. Subtle Beauty's got my vote. Kaja is a close second place. Alley-oop is 3rd, and the Morphe 2 is 4th. This concludes my little experiment with the stacks. If you guys were interested in this, I hope that it provided you with some information, a complete lay person's take on it. I'm not a makeup artist. I'm not affiliated, endorsed, nothing with any of these brands. They didn't send them to me. I went out and bought them with my own money because I wanted to see what's the fuss. Are these any good? I think a lot of it depends on your aesthetic and your time commitment, what you have going on, and whether or not it fits into your lifestyle. For me, I think at least the Kaja and the Subtle Beauty would absolutely fit into a travel bag for me and make me pretty happy to be able to throw on a little touch of something before, and actually maybe even the Subtle Beauty one. Once I put on the eyeliner, I actually liked it a lot better. It's crazy how just a little mascara and a flick of an eyeliner and all of a sudden it's like, oh yeah, I could hop on a plane somewhere, which I will soon. All right, you guys, I hope you guys are doing really well, and I hope you guys consider sticking around. Go ahead and hit the subscribe button. We are just growing leaps and bounds, our little channel of ladies of a certain age, and I am so glad to know you guys and to have you along for the ride. Please leave me a comment down below. Tell me, have you been interested in any of these? Have you tried any of these? Do they remind you of little kid makeup too much, or did all of a sudden now you're a little bit more interested? I would love to hear from you guys. So anyway, I hope you guys are doing really well, and until my next video, bye for now.